We have quite the doozy of a show for you guys today. Basically, did a little bit of deep diving this morning, and just kind of leads me to consistently say that normally when you see kind of these ecosystems being built out, all roads kind of do lead to Ripple. Also, we've got the Travelex, on-demand liquidity, Ripple partnership, on-demand liquidity, obviously XRP, which there may be to that than meets the eye. We'll go over that in a second as well. I'm going to start with this. So this is IBM Finastra, participate in United Kingdom's Digital Financial Markets Infrastructure Consortium, planning a retail central bank digital currency pilot. I'm going to float through this stuff fairly quickly here. This is a Digital Financial Market Infrastructure Consortium. This is their website here. They're going to be announcing much more in the fall, autumn. Interesting timing. Here are kind of the players here. Pay with Glass. This is the Payments Association, Boston Consulting Group, etc. Here are the members. IBM Finastra, we know, is on-demand liquidity, aka XRP, enabled already. Finclusive, Ibanera. This is Pay with Glass again. Materium, which I have to look into a little bit. A couple more. Regardless, Project New Era is what they're basically going to be calling this, and it's the United Kingdom's first retail central bank digital currency pilot. I believe there are wholesale pilots that are kind of on the back burner as well, which will feature a live digital sterling stablecoin asset. The pilot is going to test high potential use cases and provide empirical inputs to policymakers, etc., etc. Now, what they're talking about here within their green paper, which they have entitled A New Era for Money, is a potential coexistence of digital currencies, aka cryptos, and existing forms of money. And they're calling it survival of the fittest. I'm not going to read through this entire thing. It's 72 pages long, but it's what we talk about all the time. Once you create a level playing field, then it becomes survival of the fittest as far as which assets have the most utility for which use cases. And it's one of the things that we've consistently talked about with XRP as well. Now they talk about this is Pay with Glass. This is right within this. This is the tokenized future of money. They have everything pretty much tying into a liquidity pool that has been tokenized. So we always talk about liquidity as well. Interesting, they show Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum. They do not show XRP. They do not show really anything about Ripple either. But if you do enough digging, normally you kind of find where those relationships exist. And I'm going to get into that in a second here, which did take a little bit of digging. This is Project Digital Currencies. Here's what's interesting, and let me pull this up. This is the easy to find PDF, and like most of this stuff is kind of easy to find. You just have to do targeted searches. This is the exact same Project Digital Currency through the Payments Association, which ties in with Pay with Glass and all these other organizations we just talked about. Pay with Glass, you can see it right there, the benefactor, right? You can see project roles, mentor, project mentor, project lead, benefactor, etc., etc. They haven't announced a project lead yet. But they just have all the project roles here, and they have nothing about Ripple, nothing about anything else. You dig deep enough in, this mission statement and key objectives for 2022. Project team, look what we have here. We have Susan Friedman, head of public policy at Ripple. If you want to know what Susan Friedman's background is, prior to Ripple, she was the senior advisor to the CFTC chairman in his previous capacity as Treasury Assistant Secretary for International Markets. In this role, she regularly advised and collaborated with Treasury officials on matters including international financial services regulation, investment security, and trade. So October 2017 to April 2019, Department of the Treasury. July, Department of the Treasury. Moved directly to Ripple in August and is very much so a part of this project team supported by the benefactor Pay with Glass, Payments Association, which you can see all of the same things right up in here. Pay with Glass, Payments Association, etc., etc., etc. Moving forward, that's 3 etceteras, and that was the 4th one. Ripple launches crypto-enabled enterprise payments in Brazil with Travelex Bank. This does deal in utilizing XRP, a digital asset ideal for payments, Ripple's on-demand liquidity solution. Now, I'll let everybody else present that news because I think I have some interesting information for you guys. Western Union is very much so tied in to Travelex. And it looks like an acquisition in 2011. Moving forward here, we know that Western Union as well, evaluating Ripple still, I think this was late 2000 or early 2020, although initially was less bullish, trials continue. Well, the information that I received is somebody that potentially did a take this with a grain of salt. This is from somebody that has been in the XRP community for a long time, somebody that worked in the banking industry, somebody that certainly has relationships and knows a little bit about what they're talking about. I won't name any names just for keeping this kind of private, but I did a reorganization in 2016 for Travelex. Travelex is not a bank, it's a remittance company. Number two, Western Union is tied to the hip to Travelex. This is a backdoor to onboard Western Union. This is massive news, much bigger than people can imagine. Travelex have direct link to banks and rent money to store in their safes around the world. Travelex also reconciles Western Union's transactions, and also Western Union uses Travelex to transact. You are most welcome and suggest you do a deep dive. Well, last but not least, I certainly will do more of a deep dive, and thank you to the individual that sent me that. Again, obviously take it with a grain of salt. I'm just telling you the information that was relayed to me. And last but not least, we've got literally the Congress sending a message to Riot Blockchain about e-waste from proof-of-work mining. A lot of concerns around these green initiatives, a lot of concerns around proof-of-work assets. I hope this video was short and sweet. Again, all roads generally lead to Ripple if you kind of do enough digging. This actually is really interesting to me because if you read through this, it says that they may not be using, bridging within assets for cross-border transfers, etc. But they've got kind of this tokenized liquidity pool, which sounds a little bit familiar if you paid attention to what Ripple has been doing with Liquidity Hub, etc. And again, it was just interesting to me that couldn't find the Ripple relationship. Not that I always try to find stuff through dot connecting, but there's a lot of partners involved, so I obviously always do the search. And if you search far enough, you do find kind of the Ripple initiatives. This is 2022. And Susan Friedman has quite the interesting background here, essentially working with the CFTC underneath the purview of the United States Treasury, dealing in international trade. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Probably nothing again. I'll talk to you guys when I talk to you. Bye.